Thank you for your time, Adi. I mean, how frustrated are you as someone with a scientific, fact-based lifetime's work and history in the nuclear industry? How frustrated are you at the lack of genuine fact-based research and debate in this area?
Well, I'm very frustrated because I actually started my energy career as a battery person. I had patents on high-temperature batteries, which went into the market and failed in the 1990s and early 2000s. I was responsible for part of South Africa's development of a portfolio in the early 2000s. And it became clear to me from having been involved in nuclear power projects that nuclear power provides something that is essential for us. Always on, high quality power that arrives at our homes, at our businesses, at our factories, at our data centers, at our critical resources like defense establishments and so on, and keeps all of the operating things going. Mainly in a home, we just want the lights on. But if you're running a data center that's keeping our economy going and our stock exchange going, you need always on reliable power. Solar is available 19.75% in South Australia over the period of a day. That's pretty low, it's less than 20%. Let's call it 1 day in 5. And wind is available 2 days out of 5, 40%. Now, when you add up, 20% and 40%, and you try to get to 100% to get aeroplanes landing in the middle of the night when the sun is down and the wind's not blowing, you do not get a power system. And that is the plan of this government. It's madness. It's absolute madness.
You were also asked in the same interview about the timeframes that it actually takes to build nuclear power, and you took issue with this question. Have a listen.
Considering if we look overseas in Europe and North America, they are years behind schedule and they're over budget, I should say. Do you think we can do it on time?
You're not an expert and you're over-summarising.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
A really good example is the Emirates. Okay.
I did say Europe and North America because I know the UAE is different.
But UAE is not different. UAE negotiated with all of its partners internationally to establish what is called the gold standard. This is often obscured in these debates because they wanted to be able to build Korean plants with an independent group of international regulators overseeing their new regulator, so that they would do it to the highest international standards. Their first plant, I think, took 7.5 years. If you take it from first concrete to first electrons on the grid. The last one, I think, took 5.5 years.
Adi, I don't normally have a guest on and then play slabs of an interview they've done with the ABC or another media organisation, but I want to assure people at home that you're taking the fight up to the media about misinformation in this area. Are these journalists lazy, or is this part of a deliberate campaign, do you think? And how do we stop it?
Well, the CSIRO is the worst of the lot because they're just genuinely misleading. The CEO of the CSIRO is a medical specialist, and he's talking about generation costs. The cost that matters is the cost that arrives at the factory fence. It's the cost in your and my home. It's the cost in the airport and in the data center. Between the generation and where it arrives with us is a transmission grid, a distribution grid that has to get that 50 hertz highly reliable electricity to us. Solar and wind produce DC current. They have little electronic boxes at the fences called digital inverters that try to make 50 hertz. That 50 hertz has got no inertia. It's like waving a flag at somebody who wants you to try to sail in a fast race. It has no capacity to serve a modern industry that wants to make things and that wants to have a reliable, safe, democratic institution. I am shocked that AEMO, its CEO, and the CSIRO are permitted to produce this farce every year. What we want is the cost of electrons at the point of service to real customers. That's called the full cost of electricity. Now, the full cost of electricity, we know from a paper that has been published in the Journal of Energy 2 years ago, nuclear is not 25% better. It's not 50% better. it's 284% better than solar and wind. This paper by Robert Idle, I've spoken to him, I've analysed the paper, it's a work of genius. Interestingly, he has no affiliation to any institution. Isn't that interesting? He does not even have a university on that paper. The paper, a remarkable piece of work by Robert Idle, only has his name. He is completely independent. He's done a work of genius. He's showed up the fast globally. He's compared France and Texas, two places where the grid has failed recently, and it's failed because there's too much wind and too much solar. In the case of Texas, when they had the Texas storm, 360 people died in that storm. We're not messing about here, but we are messing about because AEMO is out of control.
I've got to jump in there, Adi. I mean, you know your stuff, but you are able to communicate to ordinary people, my viewers, listening at home in a way that they can understand. I think that's incredibly powerful. Please keep it up. You're one of our best advocates in the media. Adi Paterson there. Thank you for your time.